Hello friends, I hope you're all well. So for many of you this video has been a long time coming and I have been wanting to do it for quite a while, but I really just wanted to let some of my reverse diet play out and see how it all tracks and everything like that before I go jumping the gun and doing a video or anything like that. So what's been going on? What's been happening? What's been going on with me since January? I finished my diet on the 30th of January this year. It is now the 7th of May. 14 weeks, and since I finished my diet I have been increasing calories. Reverse diet is the opposite of dieting, so you are increasing calories, and yeah, I thought I might just update a little bit about reverse dieting and why I'm doing it and maybe why you should do it. And I got notes. I got my notes again, got all my facts ready to go, so gotta make sure I don't miss anything. Let's get started. So before we jump straight into reverse dieting, I'm just going to quickly cover talking about what happens when you diet. Now, if you do see my how to break your weight loss plateau video, which I'll put in the description box below, I do go into this in more detail, but I'll just do a quick cover of it. So just to define a few terms, a calorie deficit is where you're eating less calories than you burn in order to lose weight, and maintenance is where you're eating the same amount of calories as you're burning. So the amount of calories that you're expending during the day is where you're eating during the day, and generally you stay the same weight. So your body can burn calories in a number of different ways, and that's not just through exercise. So your basal metabolic rate is the number of calories your body needs at rest, just kind of to keep normal processes going, keep you alive, keep your organs running. And this is actually how you burn the majority of your calories, just kind of keeping yourself functioning. Then there's non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. This is the number of calories you burn just for everyday activities as you're up and walking around, general baseline activity levels. So for example, a builder would have much higher NEAT in comparison to someone with an office job because they're up and around and moving a lot more in comparison. The thermic effect of food is the amount of calories that you use just simply to digest your food. And lastly, there's exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the number of calories that you burn through actively participating in exercise. So as I covered in my weight loss plateau video, your body can recognize that you're in a calorie deficit and it starts to try and find ways to conserve energy. Your body basically tries to stop you from losing weight. And so the longer that you diet, or the more aggressively that you diet, your maintenance, the number of calories that you need to maintain your weight, actually decreases. And this is your metabolism adapting. So that's why often the longer that you diet, the lower and lower and lower your calories need to go in order for you to continue losing weight. So say you start your diet and your maintenance is 2,200 calories, depending on how long it goes or how aggressive it is, so many factors here. By the end of the diet, your maintenance might be like 1,900 calories. So basically, dieting causes your metabolism to decrease, it causes the number of calories that you need to maintain your weight to decrease, and reverse dieting is basically the process of removing yourself from a calorie deficit, eating more and more and more, slowly working towards maintenance in order to build up your metabolism again. So what is a reverse diet? As I've said, it is the process of increasing your calories from a calorie deficit towards maintenance. Typically what will happen, as you can see in this diagram here, is you might have quite a large jump to begin with of a few hundred calories, and from there it's just slow incremental increases, seeing how your body responds to the changes in calorie intake, seeing how your weight fluctuates and how your body fat percentage tracks, and therefore making those incremental changes accordingly. So I think this is where a lot of people get confused in terms of dieting. I think a lot of people think that unless you're on low calories, unless you're dieting, you're gaining weight kind of thing. It's either you're on low calories and you're losing weight, or you're gaining weight kind of thing. People don't understand that there's this in between, this magical zone called maintenance, where you actually get to eat a hell of a lot more than you do when you're dieting, but you maintain your current body composition. So yes, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit, but this just isn't sustainable forever, and you really shouldn't be trying to sustain a calorie deficit for an extended period of time, because it's just not maintainable for just general bodily function, and then also social function, life function, that kind of thing. So your diet really needs to have a kind of defined period, and then you need to come out of that and get back towards a kind of maintenance phase where you're able to eat more and fuel your body properly and enjoy life more, really. So why should you reverse diet? Basically, it's just more of a structured way or a structured method of getting back to a healthy kind of calorie amount. Rather than, I see what happens a lot of the time is people go through a dieting phase, they'll get to their goal weight or their goal or their event, whatever it happens to be, and then it's just like, oh, I reached my goal, let's eat all the things kind of thing, and then they kind of blow out and it goes a little bit out of control. So a good reason for doing a reverse diet is it's a more controlled method of increasing your calories and getting back to a healthy kind of metabolic state without being really restrictive and then going really over the top, because if you go really over the top then you're more likely to put on that fat. The incremental increases mean that you're more likely to minimize any kind of fat gain. So by making these incremental changes, you're able to really kind of start to push your metabolism slowly but surely, seeing how many calories your body can take while staying the same weight. So throughout your dieting phase, your metabolism has reduced, it's adapted, and when you're reverse dieting, you're going in the other direction. You're trying to readapt to your metabolism, you're trying to bring it back up again, and you're basically trying to see how much food can I get away with shoving in my gob while having as minimal impact on my weight as possible. Maybe that's just me that's thinking that. I hope that other people are thinking that too, and it's not just me, but for me, I'm just like, how much food can I get to eat here? Reverse dieting can also be really beneficial for those that have struggled with binge eating. I didn't struggle with it this last diet, but 2 years ago, I was struggling with binge eating for like a year and a half kind of thing. What I would do is I would eat really restrictively throughout the day, and then at night I would go on a massive binge, and kept trying to stick to like 1,500, 1,600 calories a day, and then I would have like 1,000 calorie binges at night, and just aiming for 1,500 calories a day at that point in time just wasn't realistic for me, and also for over a really extended time period. I didn't have any kind of end date to that diet or anything like that. So reverse dieting can be really helpful if you do struggle with binge eating, as a way of slowly but surely eating more and more and more. And if you're able to stick to eating those increased calorie amounts and have some compliance, you can kind of get a little bit more regulation back in, instead of having these kind of massive fluctuations, binge restrict. If you're able to keep a constant kind of calorie intake, you're able to kind of settle down, your body can settle into a pattern and into a routine, and you're eating more food, and hopefully you can improve your metabolism a little bit while you're at it as well. In terms of how to reverse diet, so I can say what I've said in terms of you kind of have a larger jump to begin with, and then small incremental increases from there, and you're increasing your carbs and fats, and protein should stay about the same. But apart from that, I can't really go into a lot of detail, and that's purely because everyone is different. Everyone has had, has restricted different amounts or has dieted for different amounts. Everyone has different relationships with food, has a different diet history. There's no real kind of one size fits all approach. So I want to do this video to let you know, but it's also up to you guys to do some research yourselves and see if you can implement something for yourselves that can work. So if you want to reverse diet properly, and you want to minimize your fat gain and improve your relationship with food and everything, and build up your metabolism again, I can recommend two things. The first thing I will recommend is getting a coach. I have an amazing coach, Chrissy Dask. I'll put all of her details in the description box below. She's really been of amazing assistance throughout my reverse diet. She's been the one that's been setting my macros. She's also been there for like counseling when my weight like crazily increases and I'm like, Chrissy, what's going on? She's like, it's okay, it's all good. So I have to say that a coach is probably the best option to go for. But I understand that coach isn't affordable for everyone, which is why I recommend the second option, which is Avatar Nutrition. So Avatar Nutrition acts in a similar way to a coach. However, it's just like an intuitive computer program. There's no kind of personal assistance or one-on-one help. It's designed by Lane Norton, and basically what you do is each week you kind of check in and you enter in your weight measurements, and based on your weight it can make a suggestion for your macros for you for the coming week. It has a specific reverse dieting setting. It's only $10 a month, and I know that hundreds of people have really successfully reverse dieted on it. So while I will always recommend a coach who knows you individually and can work with you on an individual basis and knows all of your history and everything like that, and which is why I really recommend Chrissy, Avatar Nutrition is another option for those of you that wouldn't be able to afford kind of one-on-one coaching. Okay, so I hope that was helpful in some way. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I need to expand on some points, I'm not sure. If you do have any questions, comment below and I will try and do my best to answer. But now, let's talk about me and what's been going on with me, what's been going on with my reverse dieting experience and all that. So first of all, I'm going to show a little physique update, and I'm going to do side by side of me at the end of my diet in January and me now. So here's what I look like. Okay, so that's what I look like physically. Now let's get into the juicy data numbers, if you are a nerd like me, which I'm not sure if many of you are, but whatever, let's move on. Okay, so the graph that I'm going to show you is an extension of the graph that I showed in my end of diet video at the end of January. Again, that video is going to be in the description box below if you want to refer to it. So this is what my current calorie intake looks like. Okay, so here's the graph. Please don't freak out. It's all good. I'll explain it step by step. So the blue dots is my weight in kilos. Sorry, Americans, I'm going to be speaking in kilos. Just multiply it by 2.2. That's what it is in pounds. So blue dots, weight in kilos, which is on the right axis. Okay? And then calories per day, my average calories per day are the red dots, and that's reflected on the left axis. And then on the x-axis, that's the entire year that we've got there, from the start of the year until about now. So you can see the last 4 weeks of my calorie deficit there and how my weight was tracking, and my calories were at 1,550 by the end of my calorie deficit. I will strongly suggest that you go and watch my end of diet video, again in the description box below, because I did not diet for 7 months on 1,550 calories. It was a very slow incremental decrease in calories over time. I do not recommend that anyone starts a diet at what I finished my diet on. Okay, I had to get that disclaimer out of the way. So finished my diet at about 63.5 kilos. I think it was 63.7 kilos is where I finished my diet. And my calories jumped straight up to a little bit under 1,900 a day. And basically my weight jumped up just because of water, and then kind of came down again and settled. And you can see my calories are going up every week above 2,000, and my weight is basically staying at the same level that it was when I finished my diet. No crazy weight or fat increases here. It stays about the same. Then all of a sudden I go to Melbourne and I eat a shit ton of food, as you would have seen in those vlogs. And I did touch on that and how I was feeling about the increase in weight, because my weight jumped up about 1.5 kilos in that instance.
And so therefore, because of that, my calories stayed about the same for a few weeks. It's then kind of tapered off and kind of come back up again, and my calories have basically been increasing accordingly. But in the grand scheme of things, from my weight at the end of my diet to now, it's been 14 weeks and I've gained about 2 kilos. I've also gone from 1,550 calories to 2,230 calories over the course of 14 weeks. That's nearly 700 calories more. So I'm eating nearly 700 calories more, and I've gained about 2 kilos, and I reckon a good amount of that is water weight. So really, I'm pretty pleased with how this reverse diet has gone so far. Is it perfect? No, but I think it's pretty good considering that I'm not on those low calories anymore.
So I hope that graph made sense. Please ask a question below if I didn't explain it very well, or if you need me to explain anything further. But yeah, basically I'm pretty happy with how this reverse diet has gone. Again, that 2 kilos that I've gained, it's going to be mostly water, I would say, especially that massive jump up after Melbourne. What can I say? Good food in Melbourne, guys. There's no way that I'm going to gain 1.5 kilos of fat in 5 days. It's going to be mostly water. So I would say, yeah, a lot of the 2 kilos is water at the moment. Maybe a little bit of fat, maybe a little bit of muscle, but I'm happy to take that. So I guess goals. Where am I heading from here? So my goal is to basically keep trying to eat as much food as possible while gaining weight as slowly as possible. Basically, yeah, again, get all the foods in me kind of thing. Need more room for ice cream and all that. But I do actually have a limit, and that is I am doing a novice powerlifting competition in 13 weeks' time. And for that competition, I need to be 67.5 kilos. And currently, I am 67.8 kilos. So I've got about 1 to 2 kilos of breathing space left to gain until I am at that point. So yeah, basically, I just can't go over 67.5 kilos in the next 3 months, and that's basically where it's at. So hopefully my calories keep going up. I'll do another update and keep you all up to date with how I'm going. And if you are interested in what I'm going to be doing in terms of prepping for that powerlifting competition, again, just a novice here, but I thought it would be good to have a new goal, a strength goal, a performance goal now that I'm not dieting anymore, something to work towards. I'm going to be doing a video on that, and it should be out within the next week, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. But anyway, I think that's all that I wanted to say in terms of reverse dieting in general, why it's useful and how my reverse diet has been going. If you did find this video useful in any way, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below. If you liked this video, if you're keen on seeing more videos, if you liked the other videos that I put in the description box below, please subscribe and all of that kind of thing. Please leave any suggestions that you'd like to see for videos in the future. I always love to hear your suggestions. But yeah, I think that's all from me today, and this video has been a very long time coming, and I hope that it was worth the wait. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.